like a whole broadcasting system here.
It
We need one of those
doesn't feel real because we
thingies.
can't. I don't know how radio people do it because I feel like it's still just us four in here.
Yeah, because you don't see your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like
Ex-Aequo Artist is live now.
Nice.
all right.
That's great.
Says we're up and live, so feel free to
Cool.
chat, and we'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to join the live streams on both Facebook and YouTube.
Sounds good. So
That's cool.
We got 6
Looking
more,
forward to
Yeah.
hearing more guitar.
Very cool.
Kacey, Tim. Okay. Looking at the list. Cool. It was nice to have the little break to stand up, refresh, and go on.
Although coffee talk makes me want another coffee.
Keeping us fresh. Yeah, I could have a little more coffee today. I just been like, I forget to have like more coffee, and then I'm like, oh, I really want some more coffee. I think it'll be good. And then I make it, and I'm looking at the time, and it's 7 something, and I'm like, I don't know.
This last year, coffee just started to affect me in the evening. I always had it late at night. It would help me practice, and I go right to sleep. But now if I have it after 2, I'm like an old guy, just like sit up all night.
I didn't drink coffee. I didn't like the way it tasted because it was bitter, even with a lot of sugar. But then you try some mochas and the chocolate comes in hand, and now I like it, but I don't think I'm up to 5, like more than 1 cup a day.
Yeah.
And it's out of habit. It's not like I need it to wake up. It's just habit. We're like, oh, I'm going to make my mocha and experiment and procrastinate against practicing or whatever it is. It's more
I love that.
It's more like the procrastination rather than I need a coffee to be able to like function. So
I have both. I like that procrastination part, and then I just love having a cup while I'm playing. Just a little sip here, play for 10 minutes, little sip.
I know that was my whole practice shtick. Have them. At least in the morning, have the coffee. The coffee's the reward. Like you did some good work. Nice sip.
I did some rewarding. I got myself M&Ms and I would go to the practice. This is like bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Sitting in a practice room with peanut M&Ms and
those are the best.
I know they're the best. And I'm playing, and like every time, let's say every 5 times I did something right, I would get an M&M. I would usually finish the M&M, but the playing didn't really get better. So I don't think I was following my own rules.
But you got M&M, so everything.
But I got M&Ms.
Yeah. And you're pretty good at guitar, so it worked out.
I guess it did work out, right? It must have been the M&Ms.
And then later on, like a little nice little sip of beer or some wine or something, and the later on practice session,
It always makes me tired. I can't do it. Never once sat down with a beer.
I would totally be a really late night practicer if I didn't live in a place where you have neighbors. Like I can't play after 11 a.m. I try to stop at 10 because it's the guitar is loud when you're playing late at night and it's quiet around. So, but sometimes like if I play and it's like 11 o'clock and I need to cut off, I'm like, oh damn, it's like the best part. Like I'm so in it, but I can't continue.
You get that second wind around that time.
Yeah, and it's quiet around you and you're like warmed up and like ready to go, but you need to cut off because you don't want your neighbors hating you.
Too late. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, luckily I live in the middle of nowhere, so now I can just do everything I want. But I really did everything I wanted, even when I wasn't in the middle of nowhere. I remember one time, this was in Charleston, I was getting ready for the finals of the GFA, and I remember I was in the hotel, and oh my God, they called the front desk, I guess, to complain about me. And they said I had a mute, I had that little mute stuck between my strings, so I could go. I had to play the next day, so finals, baby, gotta go to work. So what was really funny is that they said that I was bothering them. Someone was playing the drums really loud.
Oh, because you had the mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in the next room in the hotel, it sounded like drums, like little bongos, like. It must have been something like that, but the guy showed up to my door, and the manager or something. I'm like, dude, do you see any drums in here? I got my guitar here, and look, I'm just playing like this. Like, well, but I can barely hear it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been some kind of pipe traveling, carrying the music.
You know, someone that's a light sleeper probably can take a little apoyando, muted apoyando strokes.
You know, I recently found that the mute is helpful. I didn't really used to use it before,
Yeah, it's a
and
good
I tried
tool.
it a couple of times. It's nice. Like it takes away the sound, so your sensory is hyper focused on something else other than just the note longevity of the note.
The attack,
the attack and
studying tremolo. That's perfect.
Yeah, or even for the left hand, like for the accuracy, because you don't have the sound anymore, you're hyper focused on placing it correctly, and the feeling is different. And then you take it away and you play it, and it sounds better, and you're like, whoa, magical.
I find it reminds me to like not squeeze so hard too. It really
Yes,
there's that. Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Yeah,
I've had some
always have to
hotels that have
remind
let me
myself.
use like a conference room late at night. Sometimes they just don't even want to consider it, but sometimes they'll like open up a conference room door for you or something, and you can go practice later.
Oh, in a hotel. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh,
I was in
another
Panama.
story.
I was in Panama, and Grisha Garyachev was there as well at the same time, and he was in the lobby practicing like late at night. And they gave him. Well, yeah, it was like this little business center of this off of the lobby, and late, like I came down to check something, and then I see him practicing in the business center with the door closed.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
So that would sound like drums.
I think I was practicing Rodrigo then, like the Jacosa. So probably that. But hey, this conversation brought to my mind another little happening that was so funny. It was actually in Columbus years ago. You know, I was staying at the Marriott over there, right next to the College of Music or whatever. The School of Music, and it was really late at night. Me and my buddy, we wanted to practice, you know, and they started like, you know, threatening us that if we practice in our rooms more, they're gonna, like, they already called us a couple of times, and we were like, man, we got a competition early in the morning tomorrow, you know, what are we gonna do? Let's go to the gym. So we go down to the gym. It's so funny. We go down to the gym. There's this little old lady. She was so sweet. But that's the only person. So I'm sitting like right next to the door, and my buddy Kip is sitting over there right next to the door, killing it too, you know. And, you know, the lady's like watching some TV or whatever while on the treadmill. And then she finally, you know, finishes. And I'm the like last one next to the door, you know. So as I'm playing and as she's coming by me to get out of the room, she like bends down and whispers in my ear. She goes, Esteban. She says, Esteban, you sound just like him. And I was like, oh my God, no.
Oh, no.
Compliment.
Oh, no.
Nice.
That's so funny. Anyway.
That's like every drunk guy at a restaurant gig.
Yeah. Esteban.
All right, shall we make them wait even longer or get started?
I'm ready when Evan is.
When they're ready, yeah, we're ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? All right. My name is Kacey Ellis, and I will be performing the Elegy by Merits.
Great playing.
Good job, Kacey.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very nice.
I love that piece.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So many arpeggios, so many little notes that he wrote. The in between, like you have to play it, and it's so hard to keep the nail noise down, like when you're playing it.
yeah, it certainly is tricky.
How do you not like Mert, Sylvia? That was gorgeous.
Oh man, so much A minor in Mertz. So much A minor.
Hard though. I mean,
Yeah,
like just you have to come to
What do you
terms.
want? Some E minor?
It's well, that's the second one. That's the second one that he uses.
Yeah.
It's A minor or E minor.
Put a capo on a first flat fret, and you're good. B flat. There we go.
We can talk about this forever. It's just less interesting for me than other things.
I hear
I'm not the only one. I'm sure. But you know, I can appreciate what Kacey did for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has nothing, you know, to do with judging the competition.
Oh yeah, of course. Like you
or
can.
I don't like the Mertz, you know.
Well, and it's a great blank slate for someone like him who's very musical to hear all the drama.
Very musical. But I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. Very nice. He was very much into it, and nice equilibrium just throughout. Just good.
Yeah.
Good playing. You know, it's gonna be tough to decide, you guys.
What's nice about this competition is that we don't have to do a
1, 2, 3, 4.
first, second, third, fourth.
That is really nice. That is really nice.
We'll see when we get to it what kind of interesting things that makes, having to choose that block. But
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the 1, 2, 3, 4, unless it's like unanimous, there's always that majority. The first sometimes is obvious, and then like the middle gets
right.
Just numbers. If we do it by numbers, it's hard to decide, especially when everyone's good. Then you're like nitpicking on like, oh, but he buzzed less notes than the other guy, and so.
Oh no.
Then we're gonna go by internet connection. I thought his was 20 megabits per second.
Yeah, was that Fios? Was that like what was that?
He did not have Comcast, so I don't think he should be in this competition. I mean, it just wasn't
minimum
there.
Requirements. Proprietary internet.
Yeah, but what did you think about the playing? Oh, the playing was great. Yeah, no, we have been instructed, and we have done this for, I'm sure, many years, to where we know what we're looking for, and you know, we're gonna give everybody, you know, like I said earlier, even if Mertz is not my favorite, you know, that really doesn't.
Yeah, because it's not about you choosing repertoire you want to play. It's about
this is not a composition competition.
Yeah,
this is not a composition competition.
Yeah,
so,
and then it's exactly. But even if it was a composition competition, depends on what the guidelines are. Like and dislike is not a good guideline. If there are certain things that a composer, let's say, had to do to make a good composition, you could still do that and you dislike the piece at the same time.
I'd like to have a competition with people saying composition, competition.
A few times in a row?
Competition. You can get to. That would be a good competition.
It would be a good composition.
Yeah.
You beat me to it. I was going to do that.
Well, great minds think alike.
We ready for the next person? Or is the next person ready to play, rather?
Yeah.
They're probably ready. We gave them. All right.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. All right, let's mute ourselves.
Hello? Can you guys hear me? Cool. All right. Well, my name is Tim Beattie, and I'm going to play the Farewell Fancy and Nomine from P4 by John Dowland, followed by Danza Festiva, which is the third movement of Leo Brouwer's Sonata del Caminante. Thank you.
Great job, Tim. Thanks. Oh, he got out quick.
Nice.
Yeah.
He was on it.
The button press was rehearsed. Leave
Oh,
meeting.
yeah.
It's like, I love the comment.
That's cool.
Yeah, very like creative, imaginative kind of interpretation of the piece.
Yeah.
If we're playing favorites, I'm not the biggest fan of 21st century music,
Oh,
personally.
really?
But when it's played well and it's convincing, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't play it myself,
Sure.
but you can appreciate that someone could make it sound good.
What I like
Oh,
about that one and a lot of Brower's stuff is that there's still, even though it's, the harmonies are what they are, if
Yeah.
you're not a big fan of that kind of music, I just really like all the different gestures and stuff that he makes. And I think that helps it a lot. A lot of times that kind of music just kind of rolls over itself and it's hard to hear.
Actually, Brower I mostly do like because at least the pieces that have some sort of melody, some kind of groove, some kind of rhythm that you can like hear and get into. It's the pieces that sound random. It's like, okay, I think I could have written that, which is absolutely not
It's
true.
like when
I
you look at
cannot
a
write
painting
that.
where it's splashed on the wall.
Yeah, it's that kind of music. I'm like, can't do it.
Sure.
Brower, certain pieces maybe are kind of like that, but this one had a groove, and like he had to come up with imaginative ways to bring out the voices and have the energy and the pulse going.
It's a cool guitar piece too.
It's a cool guitar, yeah, especially the slur at the end, right?
Yeah, and a nice program to have such a contrast with the Dowland.
Yeah, two extremes of our repertoire in time.
Definitely. Brower is the jam.
Yeah.
It's one of the good things that we have in our repertoire,
Yeah.
And I guess we should be keeping track, right? Because he's the second person who played Brower, because we're supposed to select.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 3 lists going on.
Yeah.
I have a Brower.
Yeah, I have my iPad with the pencil, checking things off, and it's like mission control over here.
Right.
That's good.
Just got into actually using my pencil for the iPad. I had it for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Because, you get an iPad, you get a pencil. But I didn't really actually use it.
Oh, it's the
Until
best.
recently, yeah. For taking out notes, not having to print things, signing papers that come your way and you have to send back.
Oh, that's smart.
That's actually good. I haven't
Thank
done
you for
it
that.
for
That's
that.
fantastic.
I used it just for that. For my own music, I don't have the 12-inch one. It's the smaller one.
Oh, okay.
I still prefer paper. I don't know. I can't do
Me
the
too.
whole light in my.
I have a funny thing. Anyone who's listening that uses the iPad, I'll have like my music stand here, and if I'm actually have a couple of scores that I haven't put on there yet, I'll tap the paper every once in a while to go to the next page.
Oh,
I do it on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how many times.
yeah.
That's so funny. That's
I've
like
done
me
that to
when I get in my
screen.
wife's car and it doesn't have a clutch,
There you go. Yeah.
You're like still
Where
using it.
is this damn thing? What?
I've done that to computers. For a period of time, I was using mostly the iPad, and then I went I was clicking on my computer screen, and it's not touch screen.
My daughter tries to do that when she's looking at my laptop. She'll just start like hitting the screen. Not
Yeah.
to compare you to a 5-year-old, but
No, but it is like reflexes. You get used to things. I
yeah.
change things around in the house, and then you walk into it because you expect.
I'm
your
the dummy that's hitting paper, so anything's better
That's
than
true.
that.
You did set yourself
I'm
up
looking
there.
at a piece of paper and expecting it to do something when I tap it. So
No, that's totally fine. It's also awesome with kids though. They see us do all of these things, and even though they're like 3, 5, or whatever, they're learning. And then they see a screen. Of course, Daddy taps on the other screen. Why can't I tap on this one?
Yeah.
So who is next?
Let's do it.
We got Aytahn.
Right. Hey, Tom.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little quiet, maybe.
Got it.
I don't know.
How about now?
I think, yeah. That's
It's a little better. I think also Evan can do something about that.
Hang on a sec. No, I think I didn't have original sounds because it's a new meeting. Alrighty. Hang on. I'm gonna do it in the settings. Oh, that's all the way up. Hang on.
Well, we'll just raise it on our end.
No. I have other things too.
If you're all the way up.
I'm maxed out, yeah.
How about this?
Oh, that's perfect.
Alrighty. Oh, is this it? We're ready to... Alrighty, my name is Aytahn Benavi, and I'll be playing the Rondo No. 2 in A minor by Dionisio Aguado, and the second movement from Collectici in Team by Vicente Asensio.
Great job, Aytahn.
Great job.
Thanks for the bow. Nice bow.
Very cool.
Okay. That was the first bow.
Alrighty.
That was the first, yeah.
The first bow. Extra points.
You know, it does feel weird to play without bowing. After those concerts we did, the live stream.
You feel kind of weird, rude, right? Like we're just gonna walk off and
it's a little weird. It's a little weird. And also just like finishing playing and you're
not having any applause.
Not clapping. Yeah, it's like I know you're there probably. But
yeah.
But with the social distancing thing, now we're not shaking hands, we're not doing all that. I guess we can not bow,
Well,
Sure.
you can meet someone and just
No shave, no bow.
No, nothing. Yeah, just a straight face. The stare down. Wow, that was really nice.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, good sound. Like the richness of the sound.
Yeah, shout out to Glenn
That
Cannon.
sounds
That's
like
a terrific
a
guitar.
I was gonna say that sounds like a cannon. Is it a cannon?
It is a cannon.
Sounds like a cannon.
Canin, but it sounds like a Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has a great tone anyways, but it's a fantastic guitar for him.
Mm-hmm.
Works very well. I owned one of those for 3 or 4 years.
A cannon?
Loved it.
What do you play now?
I play a Blackwell.
Okay, I thought that's what it was because I
Yeah,
remember we had that conversation.
Oh, and I started using knoblock strings on there, and they sound fantastic. I think I just had like some D'Addario J45s on it. It was a little muffled.
Yeah, D'Addario just
amazing.
never works on my guitars. Like anytime I put it on, I'm like, nope, can't do it.
They work on more guitars than most things do, but some guitars it just doesn't work.
Yeah, the Noblocks. I love the Noblocks. Which ones are you using?
The medium tension carbons, and they're the best.
Oh, you're using carbon. Okay, I liked the QZ nylon QZ, whichever one.
Yeah.
Those are when you first put them on, it's like whoa, like it's so beautiful and rich and loud.
Yeah.
What I noticed was that they are twice the price of any other string.
Yeah.
They don't last twice as long. And after like a week, after that, the first amazing part, it kind of sounds like the other strings. So I'm like, okay, well, in that case, I'm going to use my other strings that just sound the same all throughout. So,
Yeah.
So not even the D'Addario carbons you don't like?
I don't like carbons, period. I just
and your
like
guitar is so loud already. It's probably it's tinny or something. If you
I used to play carbon when I was in college. I played a spruce top with carbon, and when I wanted it to be as loud as possible, I got it. And then last year or so, of like senior year, I switched to Augustine Regals or Imperials. I can't remember
Those are good.
because Barreco uses them. So I'm like, I'm gonna use exactly what my teacher's using. Maybe I'll sound like him. So I switched, and it was such a letdown from carbon to nylon. It was like I can't hear anything. But you get used to it. So now I got used to the nylon sound. And anytime I pick up a guitar with carbons on it, it's too sharp. Like sharp meaning like just pointy. So I haven't
like
even
steel,
put carbon.
It could be like a steel string or something. If it's
And I noticed that the carbon strings were wearing out my nails more than nylons. So I wouldn't scratch them.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's sort of what I like about the knoblocks is they sort of give you some of the things about that you get from nylons, but without that sort of too harsh sound. And I just tried the Augustine Paragons, by the way, and those sounded really nice on my guitar too. But I only had one set, so
Okay.
you gotta kind of try.
I haven't tried those out. Yeah. Augustine's
shout
got
out
some
to
good
Augustine
strings
strings.
though.
Funny things about strings.
Yes.
So for a little bit, I had a couple of packs of La Bella Argento, the pure silver ones, which are like crazy expensive. So I
have those.
Yeah, I had a couple of packs of them, and my dad likes to like make things with his hands. Like he makes like little swords and all sorts of like really cool things. So when I was done with the strings, because this is pure silver, I couldn't like throw it away. So I gave it to my dad. He like pulled it off all over the silk that's inside it, melted that silver, and started using it on his own little like the trinkets that he's making.
Wow.
So he got double use out of the strings.
That's really neat.
That's nice. Also, shout out to La Bella. Actually, they have a carbon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's actually really nice. I've been playing some of that on my guitar. Now I like carbons, but I also do like Augustine Regals on some guitars. I like that. I think the Regals have like kind of what you were talking about, a little bit of that in between, sort of a little bit of the carbon, but mostly nylon sort of.
I find that with the Imperials more on mine than the Regals, but I like them. I like them a lot.
I use the RC
The
Classic
Imperials
now.
are regular tension, right?
I didn't notice a difference. They're supposed to be regular, and then Regals are high. But I used both, and for the trebles, they sounded the same. And then the basses, back when I used to use Augustines, I just used Savarez basses. And then I switched to RC Classics, and I found that, like, it's, at least on my guitar, it sounds the same. Like, it's the same richness that Savarez Cantigas have. So when the basses are very forgiving for the bass. And the treble, it had, like, this really pretty, very easy vibrato, pure sound. So I'm like, all right, sticking with nylon. And doesn't have, like, the thick third string that Regals and Imperials had.
Yeah.
For
For me, those
kind
cantigas
of
are the best bases as far as I
At
haven't
some
tried their
point, when like you figure out the strings, it's not even so much about the strings because they start to sound pretty similar on your instrument. It's the feel that you get, like
the response and the
like how
it is sort of a tactile thing that
yeah.
that feel of your
Like I
nail
tried
going through.
Honeybox on my guitar. The volume was still just fine, but it felt stiff under my finger, even though it was normal tension. So
Yeah.
with like
Well,
just
the tensions really differ from one to the other, and some of them will actually show you on the pack what the difference is. And really, if you were to look at like a normal tension of Savarez, normal tension to Dario, normal tension, every one of them, they're slightly different. You might find some similarities. Now, the reason why I like carbons and why I like a harder tension is because all of my guitars are set really low. I have really low action on all of them, so that I can play flamenco and classical and all that stuff at the same time without sounding, when I play flamenco, like a flamenco guitarist, a little bit cleaner usually. So that's what I'm looking for in a string. It really has to do with how your instrument is set up too.
I
have high action and high tension strings. So I'm in pain. I just heard it.
Yeah. I did that for the longest time. I played a rock that had a really thick, like, high action. And I'm sorry, if I'm going to pay a whole bunch of money on a guitar, I better not. It's going to be like butter. You know what I mean?
I have to always have more of a extreme. Like my trebles are 3.5 millimeters. My basses used to be 5, now they're 4.5. I lowered them.
5s, yeah.
Because I play rest stroke with the thumb like all the time. Yeah. So if I have basses that are too close, it's just gonna rattle all the time. So, but now it's 4.5. I lowered it. It was just still not.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Too much apoyando.
There's never too much of that.
That's true. That is
never too much of that. Not in these days. Whenever it's like apoyando is like
it's
unheard of.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the competition. These guys
we're doing a competition. Nice hanging with you guys.
I'm sure that this is good information for all of them.
It's the number one question you get asked. What strings do you use? So there we go.
Yeah, there you go. I know all of them. We all have our favorites, but we use all of them.
Yeah, depends on your guitar. That's no help.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that picture.
Hey.
All right.
Are you saying something, Evan? Because we can't hear it.
You see me 1 second?
Okay.
We can't see you. We can't see you. No.
He just said, "Give me 1 second." Here he goes.
Okay.
There we go. How are you?
Oh, I see.
You might be a little quiet. Do you want to play something for a second? I don't know if I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Is it okay? Yeah. So, my name is Misael Barraza. I'm going to play the third movement of the fourth sonata by Leo Brouwer and the last movement of Antonio José's sonata. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Good job.
Thank you. See ya.
Ole. That was it.
You think there was enough notes in there?
Nah.
We can add some more, right?
Could have snuck in a couple more. If
It
he
actually-
only snuck in a couple more.
It actually doesn't look that difficult anymore. He made it look.
Yeah.
Have you guys played this one?
That's
Yeah.
not a difficult
Unfortunately.
piece.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's my favorite piece. It's my favorite all time.
It's awesome. The third movement or the second movement? I think the third is like the most beautiful thing ever.
Van Triste, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous.
I always gravitate
It's all
towards
really
saddest
beautiful.
pieces. And I'm not a sad person. I'm
Yeah.
like really happy,
No.
but I always gravitate to
You're
that
like living
really dark,
vicariously through the.
probably
Yeah.
the sad, dark, really low register. That's kind of the.
You're like such a happy, bubbly person that,
But I
whenever
like it, like
that's how you make up for it.
balance it out. I guess you got to have balance, right?
Yeah,
All the
that's
music
right.
that I pick for myself too, like I go for a guitar that has low basses, like slow, not necessarily the slow part, but the sadness of it, like the heaviness.
Yeah.
So yeah, the slow movements are beautiful.
Those impressionistic melodies are just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
You still play it, or have you kind of?
No, I can't play any of it. I
You're
could
done?
do the da-da-da-da, and that's probably it.
Oh, in the right place, that's the only thing you need. So.
Yeah, it's been probably 3 years since I played any of it. But it's one that you need to keep.
You have to
It's not one
maintain
you
it.
can pull up at the last minute.
Yeah.
I'd need probably like 4 months to be able to.
Yeah, it's amazing how some pieces stick and some others it's like learning from scratch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like Bach.
Oh God, yeah.
Bach is like the hardest to get in there and then the easiest to get out. Like you haven't done it one time, it's like, oh, what was it? What was over here?
It's just too many different portals you can take and end up in a different part of the piece.
I know. I'm actually
It's like,
really
whoa,
happy. That's so
time
funny
travel.
that you use that. They use that term.
Portals?
Yeah,
But it,
portals
Yeah, it's like
but it is
time
like that.
Yeah, you play the right note with the wrong finger, you're done. You
Yeah.
end up somewhere
Yeah.
else afterwards.
Yeah, it's like almost the same as before, but something changes a little bit, and then that's how it gets
That's
you.
why I
Oh
end up
wait,
doing-
that's not that part.
That's why I end up doing Scarlatti, even though I like Bach better. Just like I'll just do
Yeah.
Scarlatti.
Yeah,
Well,
Scarlatti is easier to remember. That's not very
Yeah.
difficult to memorize. Bach
No,
is
not at all.
to maintain it.
Scarlatti's a little more square,
Mm-hmm.
and
Predictable.
yeah. If I had to play something in a competition, I definitely would go with Scarlatti before Bach, unless Bach was required.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah,
has
the
their own
competition,
opinion
for
of
sure.
Bach about Bach, so
I
it's,
find
it's
that
hard
the
to.
faster movements like the allegros, the prestos, they're easier to memorize because
Yeah.
it's just kind of you get used to the movement, the harmony you're playing. It's easier. It's the slow ones and
Yeah.
the fugues. Forget like the fugues. No way.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling
The
out a
fugues
fugue.
are so easy to get lost, man.
Yeah.
Especially that one from the London Bridge is falling down. That one is just.
Please stop ruining music for me.
It's crazy.
Wait, which
What are
one's
you
that?
talking about?
I don't know what London Bridge sounds like. So
Da, 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 da,
Oh,
da, da,
okay.
da,
Is
da,
that
da,
the-
da, da.
that's from C
I
major,
think-
right?
Is that from the second violin?
There's second or third.
Yeah, or something like that. I can't remember. I get them all mixed up all the time, and the BWV numbers. But yeah. The London Bridge is falling down is one of the hardest fugues to remember.
I think
And also-
it's the super long one, right?
Yeah, it is
Okay,
super
that's
long.
the C major one. Yeah.
And then the one from the PFA, that's also.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that it's hard, but that one's both of these are hard to make convincing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very hard to have like a convincing from one end to another performance
One
of
I
it
am
because
totally-
there's so much.
The one I'm totally obsessing with right now, it's from the second lute suite. That fugue is just so beautiful. The 99.
Which one is that? How does it go?
997. Da dee da. No, that's the PFA. Sorry. Oh my gosh, now I can't sing it. The one I started singing, it was from the PFA. I don't want to ruin it because
That's okay. That's okay. Doesn't mean to put you on the spot. They're all beautiful. I mean, pick one. Pick one.
well, I did the second lute suite.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like eyes
they're all
closed and
beautiful.
like figure something out.
Now I can't
It's
think
still
of the
be
theme
beautiful.
because the two are stuck in my head. Thank you for that.
Are you thinking London Bridge?
No, I'm thinking the PFA fugue now.
Yeah, remember London Bridge and the Besame Mucho, okay? I ruined
That's
those
it.
for
You
you
have
guys
ruined
today.
music.
You know what? I almost forgot the Besame Mucho now.
He won't let you forget it.
No.
No, don't you forget
Shall we go
it.
on with Parsa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Parsa.
How's it going?
Do you want to check your audio? It sounds a little low. Maybe it's just me. Are you guys hearing him okay?
I have external speakers, so I might be just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm Parsa Sabet. I will be playing Grand Sonata Eroica by Mauro Giuliani.
job, Parsa. Thanks.
Good job.
Nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
It's been a while since I heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
Giuliani.
just go.
It's always the Rossinianas people go for.
Yeah. And it's got some of the nice stuff that makes the Rossiniana so great.
Yeah. We have one more, right? Brendon Grabowski.
One more.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, let's talk more about Parsa's performance. I thought it was just go.
Yeah.
Just kind of, you know.
Giuliani did not allow for any breaks.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's good, but
Giuliani with this piece.
he kept the energy up. Sometimes with these like really long pieces, it can get stale, but he kept the energy going. It's like, okay, you're gonna hear.
But it doesn't give you that breath, like in the Aequo that Aytahn played, where it goes to C major for a sec. It gives you breath at least.
You're like, okay,
Like you got to have the chops and the attention span and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it tries to give you some of those, but it doesn't quite.
it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aequo is more truncated. It's you have like different sections, different keys.
Yeah.
But I feel like Aequo, compared to Giuliani, Aequo is more difficult to play. Like the fingerings, like the Giuliani fits under the fingers better. Even though they're massive pieces, 10, 15 minutes, maybe because they're in A minor a lot of times, but they just fit. With the Aequo, the rondo is in A minor. But that towards the end, that arpeggio section, it's so difficult to like play that bar with the slur that's a mile away with the pinky. Giuliani played it.
What about the Giuliani double fret bar?
Double
double frets. Yeah, where you have like
like the cross. Oh yeah, one of the Rossinianas has that.
Yeah, Rossiniana #1 has that, and also the Grand Overture.
Yeah, I guess it depends where it is.
F section.
It can be doable. It depends on where it is and what other notes you need with it. It's just like I believe in the one, it's just the top voice and the bottom voice. So it's that you need under the first finger. So it's doable. But what were they thinking?
All of those guys have all of those same elements, like Lignani, Giuliani, Aequo. Aequo, it's kind of funny because he wasn't Italian, but Giuliani and Lignani and all that stuff. It's all like Paganini stuff, like octaves, arpeggios, go nuts. Here you go.
That's what makes it more playable for us guitarists.
Yeah, it's wonderful repertoire. I mean, it can get old if that's all you're playing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit formulaic.
Yeah. Too much 1-4-5.
It ends up being a break for your brain in some ways. Like if you have like really heavy repertoire where you need brain power, with the Giuliani you can put it on autopilot. And if you have the physical ability, the chops to go around, it won't forget. It's not like a place you would have memory slips out of.
It's still charming. It's always such charm.
Yeah.
My favorite Giuliani piece, however, is the concerto.
I heard you played that. I remember one of the competitions I saw you at. We were there, and you played the Giuliani.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
That's still one of the best concertos out there. The most bang for your buck. I feel like.
Don't want to play the Aranjuez one more time?
Just another time? I mean, I'm probably going to play it a million more times. And, it's a beautiful piece. I'm really a little disappointed in the third movement. I think it's a little bit kind of a
everyone. I think that's
not so much of an ender.
The first two are awesome. The third one, like, okay, well, we got to have a third movement. Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what that's like? That's like the Piazzolla Histoire du Tango. Like, never play the fourth one. It's just gonna take it away from you. It's just like, beautiful third movement ending. Ta-da! Oh my God, the crowd goes wild. And then you come with this like, I never played that because, if you go and you do a little bit of research, you realize that, Piazzolla was taking lessons with Nadia Boulanger, like pretty much anybody who was anybody back then, And, Nadia never knew that he did this tango stuff, So he was always bringing in these pieces that were just like crazy kooky and trying to find his own voice with that. And then like Nadja finally heard some of his stuff and was like,
"What are you doing?
Why
what
are you doing?
Write this?
This is the stuff, you know." So I feel like that fourth movement is one of those that Nadja would just been like, "Oh, come on, man, again."
What happened to your tangos?
Especially the guitar part. I mean, the violin part's one thing, but the guitar part, just with all that.
Yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. I feel like that's the same thing about the third movement of the Aranjuez. Also, if you play Aranjuez with piano accompaniment, it really doesn't do it justice. It's like the worst piano reduction there ever was.
Yeah. It's hard for the pianists too. It's tricky for them to play it. It's not easy for them.
Yeah.
You can't just show up and sight read your part.
I really think out of all of the concertos, Tedesco just rocks, from one end to another. And it's a surprise for the audience. Every time it's like, what? Yeah. Where's this concerto that sounds like Star Wars and freaking, you know?
No, enough. No more.
What?
London Bridge and Besame is enough. We don't need Star Wars in there.
No.
What about the Pirates of the Caribbean? Like when that third movement of the Tedesco sounds like pirate music right there. That's all I want to do. This is right here. I know.
Nice.
Anyway, is our last but not least player ready?
Yeah, Brendon.
All right, Brendon.
All right.
Hi, all. So my name's Brendon Grabowski, and I'll play for you the Amenaje, Debussy for Tombeau. I'm sorry, a Tombeau for Debussy. And then the Segoviana by Darius Milhaud. Thank you.
Great job, man. Thanks.
Yeah, good job.
Great job.
Awesome.
All right.
Is that it? That's everybody?
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. Great
We
job,
did it.
everybody.
Yeah.
Whoa, great job, everybody. Woo!
And let's remember that these are the 12 from 145 in the first.
Right.
That's incredible.
Wow. And then 24, right? And now 12.
Yeah, down to 24, down to 12,
Wow.
and
Well,
down to 4.
We're about to have 4 and then some other little prizes here and there, right?
yeah, the best brow, and then 19th century work. and then the audience prize, which I don't know how that works. That's not on our end.
No. But Brower, there were only 3 people who played, or was it 4? Wait.
I think it was 4.
1, 2.
Oh, okay. All right. So I
counted
guess
4.
we're gonna have to, yeah. And we have to.
Well, that's all we're gonna deliberate now and figure all that out. Look at our notes.
Good.
Yeah.
Before we do that, just wanted to say, what a great job, everybody. This is not easy to do. We've all done competitions, not from home and under these circumstances and with Wi-Fi issues and internet and things. And actually, for the most part, I
Really well.
could hear everybody.
It was actually good, yeah. From the technology
Really well,
point,
yeah.
We
So
had
that's all.
power outage.
That's all Evan.
That's it.
So thanks
Yeah,
for
went
doing
great.
that for us.
And thanks to the 3 behind the scenes right now that have been running all of this stuff. They just tell us where to be. They're doing everything with Evan, Hannah, and Phil. So
Yeah.
to those guys for
They're the
doing
operators
this all for everybody. Yeah.
and organizing and everything. So thank you guys for doing it.
Great. And thanks everybody for coming and playing from all over the world and just killing it, doing really well, regardless of what happens. I'm really glad we don't have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all because it's just really difficult. The level of playing so high and everybody sounded so good, tone upon tone upon tone. It was just amazing. So thank you all for that. It was a treat. This did not feel like a chore at all. Sitting here.
It was a free concert.
Beautiful free concert.
Great concert.
Of some of the world's next most awesome guitarists. So
Absolutely.
Thank you guys and keep on keeping on.
All right.
So
we'll let Evan take over, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our judges. They were incredible. And it's just so everyone watching, we are going to be live streaming the awards ceremony around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will include everyone or hopefully mostly everyone that was competing. And thank you so much for watching. Catching you soon.
All right.